In a world where lights shimmer brighter than the stars above and stories unfold not only on screen but in the hearts of millions, we find ourselves drawn into the captivating journey of celebrities who have turned dreams into destiny in one. Of those souls is Justin Baldoni, whose name has become a whisper of inspiration in Hollywood, a man who rose from humble beginnings to shape stories that heal hearts. His path began not with glittering fame, but with purpose, a desire to show the world that kindness, strength, and vulnerability can coexist. His breakout role in Jane the Virgin was more than acting. It was the start of a message that masculinity could be gentle, that real heroes cry and love deeply. And from that moment, Justin became more than an actor. He became a storyteller of truth, building his directorial voice with projects that celebrated humanity like 5 Feet Apart, a film that reminded audiences that love can flourish even in distance, that even in the shadow of illness, beauty blooms. And when he spoke openly about redefining what it means to be a man, he touched countless lives, urging people everywhere to embrace compassion over pride. He once said that we must learn to be brave enough to be kind, and those words echo through his work, his speeches, and the quiet way he interacts with fans. He listens, he connects, he heals. And in the ever-moving galaxy of Hollywood, his light burns steady among many others who share that same devotion to authenticity. From the stages of music to the sets of cinema, we see a generation of celebrities redefining what fame means. Artists like Taylor Swift, who turned her pain into poetry, transforming heartbreak into empowerment, each song a love letter to resilience. And fans around the world found themselves reflected in her lyrics, discovering that even global icons feel the same storms that everyone else does, and that honesty made her untouchable in a way that feels touchable. And then there's Zendaya, whose rise from Disney beginnings to award-winning actress and fashion muse feels like watching a star being born twice, once through talent and again through grace. She carries herself with a calm maturity that transcends her years, using her platform to uplift designers of color, to celebrate individuality, to show that beauty has no single definition. And through her journey, she stands shoulder to shoulder with those who use fame as a force for change, much like Leonardo DiCaprio, whose commitment to the planet has turned his celebrity into a megaphone for the earth, reminding millions that the real luxury is a sustainable future. He travels the world not for spotlight, but for survival, speaking to leaders, building awareness, and proving that, even in the glamour of Hollywood, there's room for responsibility. And as we drift from his crusade into the melodic world of music, we find artists like Justin Bieber, whose transformation from teenage sensation to mature artist has been both turbulent and tender. His story resonates because it mirrors growth itself. Messy, beautiful, real. Through faith, love, and humility. He learned that fame cannot replace peace, and that true strength lies in forgiveness. And next to him, Hailey shines as a partner who embodies grace through chaos together. They remind us that love in the spotlight can still be sacred if it is rooted in trust and understanding. Their public moments often reveal private truths, that marriage is work and joy and constant renewal. And when they celebrate anniversaries or share quiet glances, the world sees that even stars crave stability and warmth, not applause. And beyond Hollywood, across oceans and languages, other figures are rewriting what it means to be a global icon, from K-pop sensations like BTS, who turned their music into a movement, preaching self-love and unity, to actors like Priyanka Chopra Jonas, who bridges continents with confidence, reminding the world that diversity is not a trend. It's the truth of tomorrow, and through their voices we see how the stage of fame has evolved from exclusivity to inclusivity, and every story like Justin Baldoni's becomes a thread in that vast tapestry of modern celebrity, each woven with hope, purpose, and humanity. And as we continue to wander through these luminous lives, we realize that every red carpet moment, every headline, every viral post hides a beating heart, with dreams not so different from ours, the same fear of failure, the same hunger for meaning, and that realization makes this journey so much more than entertainment. It becomes connection, a reminder that no matter how high one climbs, the human spirit remains grounded by the same gravity of love, family, purpose, and healing. And so the story begins here, in the glow of ambition, in the hum of creation, in the quiet understanding that fame may be fleeting, but impact lasts forever. And through Justin Baldoni's creative spirit and the countless stars who walk beside him, the world learns again that artistry is not about perfection, but presence. And as we drift deeper into this shining universe of fame and dreams, The rhythm of the story expands into a wider dance where artists, athletes, and visionaries move in harmony, each carrying their own melody of ambition and grace. Justin Baldoni continues his path blending art and empathy, while more names join this constellation like Zendaya, glowing with effortless elegance on red carpets that feel like art galleries. Every look a statement of confidence, collaboration, and creativity, she wears her values as boldly as her gowns, turning fashion into a conversation about representation and identity. And while she inspires young dreamers across the world, we see other stars adding their verses to this same song of evolution, like Rihanna, whose empire transcends music, becoming a movement of empowerment. Her Fenty Beauty line reshaped the beauty industry, proving that inclusivity sells, not because it's trendy, but because it's truth. She transformed from singer to mogul without losing her edge, her laughter, her authenticity. She stands tall in her power, showing the world that art and business can coexist beautifully when both are driven by passion and purpose. And nearby in this symphony stands Beyonce, a queen of reinvention, whose every performance feels like a prayer. Her music rooted in culture, pride, and precision. Her artistry teaching that greatness requires dedication, discipline, and heart. Her visual albums turn sound into spirit, and fans see in her a reflection of divine determination. The way she uplifts others, from dancers to directors she works with, reminds everyone that true leadership is about sharing the crown, not wearing it alone and across the cinematic horizon. Another storyteller emerges. Greta Gerwig, whose creative eye turns nostalgia into meaning. She brought Barbie to life not as a toy, but as a mirror to womanhood and identity. Her direction bold and compassionate, bridging humor and truth, and her journey from indie actress to globally celebrated filmmaker shows that storytelling remains the purest form of rebellion, that the softest voices can create the loudest change, and as we move from the silver screen to global music festivals, the air fills with the electric spirit of performers like BTS, who carry the flag of unity for a new generation. Their music transcends language. Their message of self-love, self-awareness, and connection inspires millions. They remind the world that art, when shared with sincerity, becomes a lifeline, not just entertainment. Their concerts feel like home for fans from Tokyo to New York, and every beat pulses with hope and understanding. And when we turn to another corner of fame, we find Selena Gomez, whose gentle honesty has become her greatest strength. She uses her platform to talk about mental health, friendship, and faith, turning vulnerability into visibility. Her beauty brand Rare and her foundation Rare Impact both remind us that self-care is not selfish but sacred. She embodies resilience, soft yet unbreakable, and her music paints stories of healing that echo beyond charts into hearts. And in this same rhythm, we meet actors who turn adversity into artistry, like Keanu Reeves, who remains one of Hollywood's most beloved souls because his humility is as legendary as his roles. His quiet generosity, his grounded presence make him a symbol of gratitude, reminding the world that kindness never goes out of style. And beside him in the same celestial dance are icons like Leonardo DiCaprio, who continue to speak for the planet, proving that the role of an artist never ends when the cameras stop rolling. It evolves into advocacy, and the echo of their actions ripples through fans who learn to care more, to live lighter, to dream greener. And so this world of fame becomes something much more than red carpets and awards. It becomes a living story of human potential, where each star contributes a verse, each success a lesson, each stumble a reminder that growth is universal, from the laughter of comedians who use humor to heal to the athletes who turn their victories into scholarships for kids. This realm of celebrity becomes a reflection of our collective hope. And at the heart of it all sits a truth that fame alone cannot fulfill, but purpose can. And that is what connects every shining soul, from Justin Baldoni's heartfelt storytelling to Zendaya's quiet power, from Taylor Swift's lyrical diaries to Rihanna's empire of representation, from the compassion of Selena Gomez to the activism of DiCaprio. They are all messengers of meaning, showing us that the real legacy of fame is not in headlines, but in hearts touched by honesty. And through these intertwined stories, the world keeps learning that stars are not distant. They are mirrors of what we can be when we live with courage and kindness. And so the lights of Hollywood and beyond continue to burn bright, but softer, somehow infused with humanity as the music of their journeys plays on. And as the story unfolds, the rhythm of celebrity becomes not just a celebration of fame, but a meditation on resilience, on how stars rise, fall, and rise again, weaving their trials into triumphs that inspire millions. Because the beauty of fame is not in perfection, but in persistence. Like Robert Downey Jr., whose journey from struggle to redemption stands as one of Hollywood's most powerful transformations. He became Iron Man on screen, but even more so in spirit, showing the world that recovery is real, and that second chances can lead to legacies. His comeback wasn't just a return to fame, it was a resurrection of faith in oneself. And fans everywhere felt that spark ignite within them, learning that no mistake defines your future when you choose to rebuild. And beside him, there's Lady Gaga, who turned pain into art, embracing vulnerability as her superpower. Her performances are explosions of emotion, her voice a prayer to every outsider who's ever felt unseen. She built a career on courage, on being unapologetically different. And that authenticity made her one of the most loved and respected artists in the world. Her foundation, Born This Way, speaks to kindness, inclusion, and acceptance. Her legacy is already written, not in awards, but in lives lifted by love. And when we move across the stage of time, we see more stories of reinvention, like Miley Cyrus, who transformed from Disney star to fierce performer, with her own vision. Her songs echo rebellion and rediscovery. Her openness about growth reminds fans that identity is fluid, that change is beautiful, and that art mirrors the soul evolving through every era. And nearby, in the bright constellation of stars, sits Rihanna, again glowing not just as a singer, but as a symbol of independence. Her return to music after years of building businesses and becoming a mother reminded the world that women can wear many crowns and still shine equally bright. And then there is Taylor Swift, who continues to redefine artistry through control and creativity. She turned the music industry on its head by re-recording her albums, reclaiming her voice, her work becoming a masterclass in ownership and empowerment. Every era, a chapter in her story, every tour, a testament to connection. Her bond with fans is unlike any other. It feels like friendship, and that kind of relationship between artist and audience has become the heart of modern celebrity. Fans are no longer distant spectators. They are co-authors of the journey. They share in the struggles, celebrate the wins, and create communities built on love and respect, from Swifties to the Bayhive, from BTS Army to Beliebers fandoms. Today, our families united not just by admiration, but by shared meaning, and that shift has changed everything because it turned fame into something intimate, something real. And while music carries that intimacy, film mirrors it through emotion with stars like Tom Holland and Zendaya, capturing hearts both on and off screen, their chemistry. Not just romantic, but symbolic of a new generation of performers who uplift one another, who show that support is stronger than competition. And behind them stand legends like Denzel Washington, Meryl Streep, and Viola Davis, whose dedication to craft continues to inspire every newcomer, reminding us that artistry is a lifelong pursuit of truth, that fame without integrity is hollow, but fame with purpose becomes eternal. And beyond Hollywood, we see global lights emerging in every corner of the world, from Latin America's Bad Bunny, rewriting the rules of music and masculinity, to Africa's Burna Boy and Thames, bringing new rhythms and pride to the global stage, to Asia's Lisa and Jennie of Blackpink, turning performance into empowerment. Their charisma fierce, their message clear, that women everywhere can lead, can shine, can dominate with grace and strength. And these artists remind us that celebrity no longer belongs to one culture, one language, or one look. It belongs to everyone who dares to dream and share that dream with others. And in the middle of this universal rhythm, Justin Baldoni continues to evolve his creative path, using his platform to spark dialogue about love, empathy, and equality through his books and films. He opens windows into the human condition, reminding everyone that storytelling has the power to heal. He invites men to embrace vulnerability, to challenge stereotypes, and through that honesty, he continues to inspire those searching for connection in a disconnected world. And so the flow of this vast narrative continues merging voices, beats, and faces into a single heartbeat of hope. Because at the end of it all, fame is fleeting, but purpose is forever. And the stars who remember that shine differently, their light not blinding, but guiding gently, reminding the world that the truest measure of success is how deeply you make others feel seen. And as fans watch their idols grow, evolve, stumble, and rise again, they learn that the journey of a celebrity is just a magnified version of the journey we all share, a dance between fear and faith, between ambition and authenticity. And that realization makes every story in this constellation so achingly human and endlessly inspiring. And as this journey through the stars continues, we begin to see how fame, once defined by lights and luxury, has evolved into a language of giving, of purpose, of influence, used for change. because so many of the world's most loved celebrities have found that the truest joy comes not from applause but from impact. Like Angelina Jolie, whose humanitarian missions across continents have saved lives and opened eyes. Her quiet presence in refugee camps, her compassion toward families torn by war, remind the world that compassion is the most beautiful form of celebrity. And when we see her smile among children, her fame fades, and her humanity glows brighter. And alongside her stands Leonardo DiCaprio, using his global platform to speak for the Earth. His documentaries, his foundation, his constant activism, reminding us that fame is not only about being seen, but about seeing what matters most. He lends his voice to a planet that cannot speak, and his legacy grows not through blockbusters, but through the belief that art and advocacy can live as one. And while these legends lead the way, new generations follow with equal passion. Selena Gomez continues to speak about mental health, turning her pain into power. Her transparency in a world obsessed with perfection makes her one of the most relatable icons. Her foundation, Rare Impact, and her open conversations encourage millions to prioritize self-care and kindness. She teaches that strength comes not from hiding struggles, but from sharing them, and that message ripples through the lives of young people everywhere. And then there's Shawn Mendes, whose music drips with introspection. His humility paired with his desire to use fame for good makes his journey one of quiet inspiration. He advocates for mental health, for self-awareness, and for authenticity. His voice gentle but steady in a world that often demands noise. And through him, we see how celebrities can inspire not only through art, but through honesty, and that same heartbeat of compassion echoes in artists like Ariana Grande, whose charity concerts following tragedy showed grace beyond measure. She transformed grief into unity. Her message, always love over hate. She reminds the world that resilience is the loudest song of all, and in the world of cinema, actors like Emma Watson continue to inspire with purpose. Her work as a UN Goodwill ambassador and her efforts toward gender equality remind us that intelligence and influence can coexist beautifully. She uses her fame to amplify others, turning the spotlight into a bridge for women around the world, and in the same rhythm lives Priyanka Chopra, Jonas, who carries the voice of global representation. Her story from India to Hollywood is proof that boundaries are illusions. She uses her platform for education, advocacy, and empowerment, showing that success feels sweeter when shared. And across industries, we find fashion icons who have turned style into statements, like Zendaya using her red carpet moments to celebrate young designers and cultural heritage, or Rihanna, whose inclusive brand Fenty changed the game for good by embracing every skin tone, every body, every identity, reminding everyone that beauty is universal, not exclusive. And even in the lavish world of runways and campaigns, a quiet revolution brews, as models like Bella and Gigi Hadid use their fame for humanitarian causes, showing that beneath the glamour beats a conscience alive and aware. And while the fashion world glows, the realm of film and television keeps birthing stories that shift culture. Actors like Timothée Chalamet bring emotion to every frame. Artists like Florence Pugh blend strength and softness, proving that the new generation of celebrities understands that vulnerability is power. And on another continent, the stars of K-pop continue to redefine fame through connection groups like BTS, Blackpink, and Stray Kids turn music into therapy for millions. Their performances radiating passion, precision, and pride, they use their success to speak of self-love, inclusivity, and kindness. Their fandoms creating safe spaces for people across nations, showing that celebrity is no longer distant. It is shared and interactive, and this global shift has changed everything. Fans are now participants, creators, community builders, and celebrities are learning to meet them halfway with humility and heart. It's this exchange that keeps fame alive as a dialogue, not a monologue, and through all these intertwined stories, one truth remains constant: that the greatest gift of fame is the chance to serve, to heal, to inspire. And Justin Baldoni's journey reflects that truth in every project he creates. His films exploring empathy, masculinity, and love, his conversations encouraging men to feel and to listen. He stands among those modern artists who see their work as a form of giving a mirror held up to the soul of society, reminding us that growth begins when we understand each other. His career, woven with purpose from directing to writing to acting, forms a living testament that art made with heart can change lives. And as we stand under this infinite sky of stars, from Hollywood to Seoul, from London to Lagos, from Mumbai to New York, we begin to see how connected it all truly is. The dreams, the struggles, the victories, the giving it all. forms one collective constellation of humanity, proving that the more light we share, the brighter the world becomes. And as the light of the celebrity world keeps expanding, it starts to feel less like a spotlight and more like a sunrise. Each story blending into another painting, a sky full of possibility and heart. Because what keeps people drawn to fame is not just the glamour or perfection, but the humanity that hides beneath it. The moments when stars show that they too are dreamers, fighters, and believers like the fans who adore them. And that is why so many come back stronger after setbacks, proving that the real measure of greatness is endurance. We see it in Demi Lovato, whose voice carries the weight of recovery and redemption. Every note she sings feels like a confession and a celebration. At once, she has become a symbol of courage, reminding people that healing is not linear but worth every step, and beside her stands Selena Gomez. Again, not as competition, but as kin. Their friendship, a quiet reminder that unity among women in fame is not rare. It is radiant and across the spectrum of entertainment comebacks bloom like wildflowers from Brendan Fraser, who returned to the screen with a performance that broke hearts and healed his own, to Britney Spears, who reclaimed her voice after years of silence, showing that freedom is the sweetest form of success, and fans watching these rebirths find themselves inspired to begin again in their own lives, realizing that no chapter defines the whole book. And while stories of resurgence fill headlines, quieter legacies unfold behind. The scenes where celebrities use influence to build futures, like LeBron James, whose I Promise school gives children hope beyond the basketball court. His fame translated into education, empowerment, and community love. And on the other end of the world, Virat Kohli and Anushka Sharma balance sports, cinema, and charity. Their partnership rooted in respect, their initiatives focused on wildlife and child welfare, showing that the power couple concept can mean more than luxury. It can mean leadership. And within Hollywood, we find couples who model this same energy, like John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, who share their joys and heartbreaks with openness, their journey through loss teaching millions. That vulnerability can be the greatest form of connection. And then there's Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, using humor, philanthropy, and partnership as their language of love. They turn campaigns into causes, showing that laughter and generosity can coexist beautifully in the world of fame. And fashion, meanwhile, continues to evolve into a platform for storytelling icons like Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet, wear fashion as art symbols of self-expression and creativity. Their collaborations with designers breathe new life into old traditions, turning fabric into voice. And even in music, this merging of art and activism thrives as artists like The Weeknd and Billie Eilish use their stages to shed light on social issues, their performances bold and cinematic, bridging awareness with aesthetics. And in every continent, you find similar movements. Artists who remind us that influence is not a privilege, but a responsibility. Because with millions of eyes watching, even a whisper can become a wave. And fans have become part of that wave, creating change through fan drives, donations, and social causes inspired by their idols. Entire communities now built on shared hope and generosity, from Swifties raising funds for local charities to K-pop fandoms planting trees and aiding disaster relief. Fame has evolved into something participatory, something communal. It's no longer just about admiration, it's about action. And in this shared landscape, celebrities have begun opening their worlds more, letting fans see the families, the laughter, the struggles that make them real people, not personas. Justin Baldoni, for instance, continues to share his journey as a father and filmmaker, showing that masculinity and tenderness can walk hand in hand. His love for storytelling becomes a vessel of empathy as he explores what it means to be human, to be flawed, and still enough. And that message resonates with the spirit of our time, where success is not measured by fame, but by fulfillment, by how many lives are touched, how many hearts are healed, and around him stand countless others embodying that same grace. Zendaya with her calm power, Taylor Swift with her lyrical honesty, Rihanna with her fearless innovation, Beats with their unity, Leonardo DiCaprio with his activism, Angelina Jolie with her compassion, all forming a chorus of inspiration echoing across generations and continents, telling us that celebrity is not just about watching from afar, it's about recognizing the reflection of possibility within ourselves. And as the music of this collective journey plays on, we realize that the fame we follow is not an escape, but an invitation to dream, to believe, to create, to give. And perhaps that is why we never tire of these stories, because deep down we know they are our Stories too mirrored through the lens of those who dared to live loudly and love deeply under the ever-watchful stars. Subscribe for more emotional celebrity documentaries, pop culture storytelling, and inspiring journeys from stars worldwide.